Life isn't always black and white. Somewhere in the grey lies the truth. Where perspectives collide and stories connect. Welcome to the Black, White and Grey podcast. Let's have a conversation. Today, guys, hello. Today, we're going to mix it up a bit. I've got a question for you all. Somebody put this to me. It left me stumped, and I thought I'd bring this to the team. And let's see what your opinions are. And so here it is. If you had no money in the world, like no money, and there's no crime involved, we're not allowed to do crime, it's just no money. It's just me and one of you. So each one of you, me and one of you. How would we eat? How would we travel? And how would you entertain me in the time that we're together?
I got three things. Travel, just by walking. We don't have two legs. We can travel. We can plan. Okay. It won't take ages for us to get there, but we get a bike.
How are we going to get the bike?
Well, how did cavemen made bikes
going around London at the moment? I don't think anybody pays for them anymore.
So you're saying
That's crime, though, to be fair.
Yeah,
back to square one.
No. We can ask a question. We can ask for authorization for things, right? And then what was it? Entertainment. Eat. Eat is fine. We just grow things, right?
We just grow
things. Things from what?
But we need to eat now. So what are we growing?
So we need to eat now.
Yeah.
Can we go to waitress and ask for favors and say, I would work for free here, and you give me some food? Potentially.
That's not a bad one.
It's a messy plan.
And what era are we in? We're in now, right?
This is like, we just work with now.
Yeah.
And everyone else got money. It's just we don't have money.
It's just us, yeah.
So we exchange favors then?
It's a good chat. Because what you're doing is utilising, I would say, some of your skills.
Yeah.
The way this plan plays out at the moment is you do that, you're planting your crops, which won't sprout for about 3 months. So you guys have died. The game's over.
No.
You're dead.
I changed it. We're going to go to Asda, Sainsbury's, and whatever. Ask for favours. Say, I offer you my work for free. You give me food.
He's already killed you.
You're dead. Game over.
Your turn.
Go on.
In that question that you've presented, can you get a job? Can you make money?
Yeah, but it's immediate. You can do all of that, but I'm saying it's immediate because we're here together, right?
So immediately, I've got no money.
You could get a job. It could be short term. It could be a couple of hours because you're using your skills to.
I'd arguably say that if I sat on Oxford Street and begged, with a cup that I found off the street, I'd make more money than I do now. So
you're saying beggars make more money than you?
No, if I deep it right, if I really think about it, if I sit on Oxford Street. With a cup and I get 10 people to pay me £1, that's £10 an hour.
Yeah.
That's a lot of that's more than most people. That's more than minimum wage.
A quid as a coin nowadays is hard to come by, though. Do you know what I mean? You're more likely to get a £5 note 2 times an hour than you will to get £1.
True, and I've seen some.
You stepped it up.
I've seen some.
I've seen some people card machines. When I give £5 minimum.
Efficiency.
You need people to meet them where they're going to meet you, and most people just don't have coins on them at the moment. I don't think.
Fair, but then to be fair, most people don't have cash. Yeah, I've seen people with card machines.
Then you look smug, right? Then you're like, oh, if I've come prepared with a card machine,
smart.
It's like, excuse me, sir.
No, but that's then
contactless. I take Amex.
I've been thinking about it. I think homeless people should get one of those if there was a possibility.
No, because I think we're taking the idea of the homelessness into a luxury. Homelessness isn't a luxury, so that idea of having the card machine is almost like it's a business for them.
Of course.
Brendan, I'm interested to know, how would you entertain Michael then?
Not the same way as you. Definitely not the same way as you.
Well, yeah, I know that, but what would you do instead?
With intelligent conversation.
I mean, I'm open to whatever you want to offer me.
Michael's on fire today.
Look, I think, we sit here for hours on end talking, and I never get bored of talking to you guys. I think you can keep entertained intellectually for a long time until we can afford to buy a pack of cards.
Yeah, they're true.
Very true.
You know, like if I could beg for a day, I'd definitely buy us a pack of cards. And then
so yours is begging,
just talking. To get your start. Get yourself off the ground. Because what are you gonna do? You got no money. Are we like in our clothes? Are we okay? Like,
what do you mean? Are we in clothes?
Whoa!
It's true though. Is it like Terminator? You've just flashed in.
Yeah,
I
flashed in.
We flashed in.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
And you've got to go into the bar, and you need boots, a motorcycle.
Why are you guys naked?
Have I teleported in with nothing?
I'm happy to tell you that you've got your clothes on,
Brilliant news.
I don't want to see you naked.
So you're saying right now our bank account's been cleared, no credit cards.
There's no bank accounts. We ain't got no cards. We're just
That's what I'm saying.
open
Nothing.
season, but you got your clothes on.
But I've got my clothes on.
100%.
You can sell your clothes.
I wouldn't have you no other way.
Oh, yeah, sell a t-shirt. Let's sell a t-shirt.
So I mean, I'm happy to not see you naked. I'm serious.
But will you pay for the privilege of not?
So I've got to pay for. I've got to pay for the privilege.
Yeah. Oh, you do the begging, and you pay me to stay clothed. Yeah.
Good one, that is, isn't it?
And travel. I mean, yes, you're right. You can walk everywhere, but when you kind of pitched the question, I kind of imagined deserted island rather than we're in modern day time. So like,
But deserted island be tough though.
Chop some trees down.
Well, we could just walk around and look for food.
I think the key thing with that
there.
question is you're creating the scenario. So when people ask questions like, are we this, are we that? You're almost trying to find the picture of a perfect narrative when it really,
whereas really
it's
it's all based on my creative narrative.
It's all based on you.
I think I agree with Anna. You walk. There's no need for us to travel internationally to survive. You walk to wherever you need to be, and until you can afford the means of anything else. As it.
So the relatable thing I think with you with that answer is your skill is practically the begging stroke sales part of it.
Correct.
But why wouldn't you sing for money?
We're a product.
Why wouldn't you sing?
Why wouldn't you sing for money?
You're a singer. It's your skill.
Sing a cappella sucks.
Yeah, but it's still. I would.
Okay, yeah. Well, I can beg and sing at the same time.
You could just say to somebody like, I'll sing you a song for your partner for, I don't know, £5 or something.
Why wouldn't you sing to entertain them?
I could busk.
You could sing to
because
entertain
busking's illegal in England.
them.
Oh, I didn't know.
So
that.
you said no crime.
No crime.
So unless I had a license, which I can't get if I'm broke, I can't sing on the street.
In the park?
Speakers
You
corner?
you can't sing anywhere and get money.
So you can't take
No,
money
you can't
for
take
singing.
money for singing unless in public.
What if they offer you? It's voluntary. You didn't
So
ask for money.
it's a donation.
Yeah, donation. Donations are okay for charity.
All
I'm singing for
busking's
charity.
All busking's donation.
Not really, because if you're singing for money, then it's not a donation.
It's meant to be.
Well, you're singing. You've got a guitar bag out in front of you. You've not asked for money, but it's still busking.
Yeah, it's a deep one actually.
So that's probably why I couldn't do that. But then, as I said, the begging thing is a start because you are essentially homeless. I've got nowhere to live. I've got nowhere to eat. I've got nothing. So I need something now. I bank on the generosity of my lovely fellow British people.
You're so generous.
And then after that, you build up. As soon as you got what you need, you build up what you can get.
Yeah, then you move to the next level.
Okay,
It's a bit like where you trade things. Do you know, like people like I've traded a 1p coin and I've ended up with a car.
Yeah.
Like,
but that was a show, right? But there was a guy called Ryan Trahan who had to get across the whole of America, and he started with $1 or a cent or something, and he had to level up and then start buying plane tickets and had to go to different areas.
This is what I mean.
So it's like a game show.
But he bought himself like a bike, and he was like, "I'm going to go on Uber Eats. I've now done a thing." But then in this weird game, like anytime he got a $50,000 donation from Mr. Beast to one of his friends, his whole bank account got drained to zero again, and he had the great reset. But it was pretty good. He was like, "I'm going to offer to like cut people's back lawns."
So it kept him creative.
So Red Bull ran a challenge when I was traveling. Actually, because I considered doing it. They give you 1 can of Red Bull, and they say get as far as you can traveling with this 1 can of Red Bull. And people had to trade their Red Bull and trade up and eventually get to a place like people ended up in Asia and stuff like that.
That's cool.
But it all started from a can of Red Bull. So,
it's difficult because one thing I did notice that the two things that happened is I think there was some awareness of he was doing a challenge. So people were kind of artificially generous because ultimately if you look like you're completely down and out versus if you look at doing it for YouTube content, I think he was treated a bit differently. Some people would be like, "Oh, cool, that was a great joke. Here's $20.
Yeah.
And it's
I get
like,
that.
that's not super normal.
I've noticed that with the trading situations on YouTube as well. They're like, "Oh yeah, I've traded this." I'm like, okay, but in reality, is anyone to trade you that if you weren't making content?
Potentially yes and no. I think look, there's in my area there's like homeless guys all day every day, and they beg every single day. I don't get them nothing. But one day it was I think 3 years ago, it was my birthday. I come out the train station with a bottle of champagne, and the guy, same guy, seen every day, asks me for money. He's like, "Boss, can I?" And I'm like, I can't say no with a bottle of champagne in my hands. You're homeless, and it's just wrong. Like everything about that scenario was just wrong.
You felt so, yeah.
I just felt like if I'm saying no now and I've got money on my pocket, I'm taking the piss.
Yeah.
So I gave him £20.
Mm.
He must have had a hell of a party on the £20, but it does happen. It's just that chance, right?
This is, yeah.
And that's ultimately what I'm saying. Like, it does happen. And those things that we see on TV, remember, they're the edits. So we don't know if they're actually just genuinely happening or it's for the TV show.
What would you do, Ed?
Yeah, Ed.
What would you do, Ed?
What? So we need to eat, we need to be entertained, and we need to travel. To be fair, the DLR is a good punt for travelling. People seem to get on and off that thing without paying all
Remember,
the time.
No crime.
We need to be no crime.
No crime.
Legal.
Fine.
Go on, carry on.
I think it's cool because I think you've got to up your interactions with the world. As you say, it's probabilistic, right? You need to increase the amount of interactions you have with people to increase the likelihood that you're going to get. It'd be entertaining. One, going up and speaking to people and like just abstracting a value exchange with them. It's difficult though, because what I do to make money isn't necessarily what would be a good entertaining day out, right? Like I'd sit there outside, I don't know, like a shop and say, I'll give free business advice or something, or I'll help you work on, you know, whatever entrepreneurial idea you have, come talk to me about it and we can spend 10 minutes. And if it's any good, give me like £5 or something and try and cash in on a skill.
Yes.
But that's not going to be entertaining.
Why?
It doesn't have to be.
Well, because you've asked for like a day out, how are we going to stay entertained, what we're going to do. But I think part of the entertainment package would be meeting lots of people, so it becomes a story unto itself. I remember that day where we had nothing. And I think you've got to break the fourth wall. I think you've got to tell people as earnestly as you can where you're at and what's going on.
I've teleported and I've got no money, but I'm a really smart businessman. You're going to sound crazy, bro.
But that's probably that's where it goes back to. That's the entertaining part, right?
Yeah.
Because that craziness, then you're going to look at people's faces like, what? And that confusion is the entertainment for the person you're with.
And you can probably quickly overcome that cognitive dissonance by saying a few things that make people key into the fact that it's like,
oh, he's serious.
You seem crazy, but actually what you said in this like
sense.
last 30 seconds that I've sort of amused you makes sense.
So essentially got an elevator pitch.
Yeah, I think you'd have to
there.
kind of try and key into where that value exchange is. Or I don't know, like going and offer services, right? Like, as you say, like go into a restaurant or a bar and say, like, do you need your waste taken out or something?
I did think about that food-wise. You could really just wait till things close and they throw out so much
That's
food.
illegal. Freeganism is what they were calling it. But
Freeganism?
raiding bins apparently is not, because it goes against regulatory compliance.
he was going to go to like girls.
Oh.
No, but sometimes they donate food, like
and say, can I get a donation?
food
They'll
to
donate
the
it, but if you go rummaging through bins, they try and discourage it because you may make yourself sick, and so there's
Right,
like a
so if you
regulatory
go to
issue.
like Krispy Kreme end of day,
Yeah,
they've got
fine.
loads of Krispy Kremes.
So you wasn't going in the bins?
No, I'm not trying
No.
to eat out of bins, really, bro.
No, they
Then
gonna
again, if
offer
you're
you.
desperate, you're desperate.
Pret donates. Like, just sit outside
Yeah,
and they will
there's a lot.
Yeah,
donate
they
to
do.
you.
So, if you go to end of day, you generally can get food from these big chains.
Yeah, can really. You guys should come with me on Wednesdays to the homeless.
I thought you were going to say
So
to beg for food.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
Pret.
to give out food to the homeless. Selfridge is really generous with that, so they give loads of food.
Oh, nice.
Food that you would probably pay hundreds for it. They just
There
give
you go. Sorry,
I
go.
mean, shout out, there is an amazing organisation called Beam that does some really good stuff with homelessness in terms of you can sponsor people's upskilling to try and give them vocational jobs. So, like, getting them into, I don't know, their first electrician testing qualifications so they can go on site and start to like actually get out of their way.
That's good.
And then actually they pledge to then like recycle part of the money they're making back to other homeless people. So they kind of create like an elevating chain.
Oh, that's nice.
So they feel responsible to stay in their job because they go, I'm doing it for some greater good other than just lying in my own pocket where my full back down. So that was a good thing. But
I love that.
I think it just depends, doesn't it? Because like there's always that thing in life of if you're too desperate for an outcome, it tends to evade you. So if you're just like hungry for money and chasing it, people probably feel that you're like that. Whereas if you go, I'm here for an amazing story today, like which flat will I end up being given a free meal in today by meeting people and just having somebody go, you know what, we're cooking a bunch of food, it's such and such's birthday or whatever, come join us. And it'd be amazing to see if you could pull that off. And I think if you start with the intention of the story rather than like the scarcity, then hopefully it sorts itself out. Because
start with the intention of the story.
I like that.
That is
Ed.
a bar.
That's a bar.
Beautiful.
What are you going to do to entertain? Or did you not have to entertain us?
I'm not entertaining you. That.
Okay. Were you entertained?
I'll be honest. I think that you covered. I think between the three of you, you've kind of covered all the segments that are potentially possible.
Mm.
Yeah, I was thinking it's getting harder and harder to think of other options, ways to do it.
Walking. Basically, it's walking, using your skills, and talking.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, you got this itch now of thinking like, should this actually be tried in the real world for a day? Like, part of me is like, should I actually try this?
Let's do it.
As I'm here
Makes
thinking,
me nervous, but
You've heard
makes
it
a good
here.
thing.
I want to do it.
BWG pod, gonna strip naked, no money.
Live stream donations.
You know what? Let's do it,
I
and
wanna
then
do
and we'll
it.
make it a live episode where we film and we'll cover it and
I'm
as
up for that.
content as well.
That's good,
I
isn't
mean,
it?
before you go away, then we've got a set timing. Before you go on holiday to Dominican Republic, ladies, it's just
Just put my business on the internet.
That's dangerous in this day and
On
age.
date from this
we
date to
don't
this
exactly
date
know
in
exact
this city.
days.
By the
But
time
before you
this
go
comes
away-
out, I'm already back.
Yeah, that's so true.
But I think we should do it before
Before
you and Brendan go away and disappear somewhere on the
Try that.
horizon.
let's leave it like that.
I'd love to do it.
So we've spoken about a lot of human interaction. So we've now gone into a stage in the world in terms of time where human interaction, in my opinion, is getting less and less because social media and digital interaction is going so much higher. So what would you do if the internet disappeared today? How would you feel about it? What would you lose? What would you gain?
Done. Like, fully gone.
I can answer
Yeah.
that.
Never to come back.
You don't know
Forever?
if it's going to come back. It's gone. It's gone. No one's got internet for
It's
like.
just turned off.
It's turned off.
So who turned off the
Who
internet?
turned off the internet? We don't know who turned off the internet. We don't know if he's turning it back on or she's turning it back on.
It's
They-
so funny.
The
Like a
architect.
cosmic
They-
parent. Yeah. It's just gone.
The architect,
You
yeah.
had enough.
But you know what?
I'd be buzzed.
Showing my age now. But I grew up in a time when there was no internet.
Me too.
Yeah, me three.
So you just revert back to type. It was almost like when lockdown happened and everybody was like, what do I do? It was like, I know what to do because I was
Live life.
in that time
Mm.
where,
Batman who's born in the dark.
do you know what I mean?
It was Bane. It was Bane.
Fortunately for us,
Yeah.
us three more so, we was born in a time where it was analog digital switchover.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to be creative. So if there is no internet, we go back to meeting.
Well, the internet was sort of seen as like being a
like
nerd. It was
bankings
like
or-
you sit in front of the computer all day, what you're doing, and there'd be the dial-up
Yeah.
modem. There was nothing really good to do on it apart from
I
download.
didn't have no dial-up. This is what I'm saying. You're privileged, bro. There was no dial-up.
Everyone had dial-up.
Everybody
was-
had dial-up.
I didn't
Surely
have
the
no
little
dial-up.
What do you mean? When did you get it?
Dial-up.
Yeah.
Listen,
When your parents would
If
get
I-
on the phone and go, "Get off the
I didn't
internet,
have
we can't."
pager.
internet.
Guys, remember
No,
pager?
what I'm saying is I started before that.
Yeah, I know. But that's.
But you had pager, right?
Yeah,
Listen,
Paige, I bet he did.
I was.
I didn't have pager.
No, don't do that.
I bet you had pager.
No,
You
I
know
did
what
have a
pager is?
pager.
Brendan, you know what pager is?
I know what page is, but I've obviously never had one. Actually, I say obviously.
Do you know how to communicate? We had to call
Landlines.
the
no, no
landlines.
landlines. I'm not
No,
that. I'm
we
not
called it
that.
operator.
Hold on, I'm not
It
No,
was
no,
an
no,
that.
no,
operator,
no,
yeah.
pager. You had to call the landline, and
Wait.
the landline would write a text
No,
message
it
to
was
that
an
person.
operator. You phone
call
Oh
me
yeah,
operator.
yeah.
back.
For
Oh,
processor.
no.
So
Yeah.
I've never done
And
that.
you'd like tee, and then you check, and it was like
Your mum wants you to call home.
Yeah.
Or something, yeah.
Oh no, never done that in my life.
Listen,
you didn't
I
even see
remember
one, did you?
when we was 16, we might meet.
Who's we?
We meet like me and my boys. We meet girls, and then we had to take the home telephone number
Mhm.
and like arrange. I'm gonna phone you at 6 o'clock
Mhm.
because you didn't want their parents to pick up the phone. And then if you miss that 6 o'clock window, you're fucked because you're speaking to the parents.
Yeah.
You are, and if you made it, then great. You've got an opportunity to see this person again.
Oh, do
So-
you get nervous as well before they come to the phone? You're like,
Yes.
That's
Like,
correct.
and then-
Even going on a date, you need to be on time.
on time.
Oh,
You need to be
yeah,
at the
yeah.
exact place, but sometimes
You
places
can't be like running 10 minutes late because they're
No.
gone.
you,
there is-
So-
you could be lost, and it could be in London. Sometimes you go to places where they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
And you could be like, I'm in front of prayer. It's like, oh, I was in Stratford with you. I'm in front of prayer. But which prayer? The
Yeah.
one next to
But you would
Starbucks.
never-
Oh, but we've got another one. It's like,
That's
like,
what makes it mental today, that same question, because we've got what we're talking about is the idea of before the population is what it is today, and before there were so many replicas of that building. Like there's many Pretz and many McDonald's is on the same road.
But obviously, it's a different conversation, though, right?
Yeah, now it's
because
changed.
now it's changed. Now that if this internet or socials disappeared today, it would be a different conversation to whatever what you grew up with, exposed to.
So,
because the world has changed.
Yeah.
What's your gut feeling on how it would feel? Like, I feel a sense of
from your
relief.
perspective, what would you? I do too.
I think. Do you know what? I
do
think the true question goes to you.
Correct.
As growing up with that's all you know.
Correct.
Yeah, I've grown up with internet all my life.
Yeah. So for you,
like,
what would that look like?
That's crazy.
Did you have dial-up as well, or did you even know?
No,
remember that. So you had Wi-Fi
broadband
from day one.
minimum.
Like, slow Wi-Fi, but I had Wi-Fi.
He was broadband minimum. Imagine he calls broadband slow, and we come from dial-up.
Then do
like,
tell
I don't
us,
mind waiting.
what is it like to be in your world then?
Then again, I don't remember internet. I don't really remember using it to obviously a lot older, like young teens. Like for maybe because of my parenting, I was never allowed to play online games and stuff just because I was young, stuff like that. But if internet disappeared today, I don't think it would be as much of a relief to me as it is for you guys. So like you said, it would feel like a weight off your shoulders.
Me
It'd be hard
too.
to do work.
For
Like, work would
me,
get a
I
lot
would
harder.
panic because my livelihood depends on digital. In everything I do, so the podcast is digital, the marketing I do is digital, everything I do is digital.
So you would have to learn.
I'd have to reevaluate.
Then you could be a busker now.
Then I can go into the streets. But then how do I now? I don't even know where to get a license because I wouldn't have got it online.
You're not getting the license. You're going to be an illegal busker.
Yeah, because the crime's not a problem anymore. It's a different question.
It's a different question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'd do. To be honest, as in, if socials disappeared, I wouldn't really care. Social media, I think, is different. It's a different conversation again.
Are you not scared though? Ain't that a fearful thing that actually your power, your livelihood, is actually in another person's hands, whoever that architect is?
Correct.
Ain't that scary for you?
Of course, but isn't that the same as everyone?
Yeah,
we're all kind of serving digital pharaoh, though, aren't we?
No, not really, because I think.
But then you're in journalism, right? You were in journalism all your life. That is all shared digitally.
But it was also at a time through paper.
Yeah,
and
newspapers and magazines.
Still, magazines and newspapers are still there. It just means we revert back to type. Whereas for you, your
but then
type.
there's still an architect regardless.
No, but I'm saying for you, your type starts digital. So
Correct.
where do you fall back to?
Well, but then I said, you're right. It's harder for me because I've grown up in digital, right?
Yeah.
So I've actually never done physical marketing. Like traditional marketing, should we say?
Traditional
So I've not ever done a physical mail campaign.
You know what's scary is the fact that now we've got AI and we are de-skilling ourselves, especially younger individuals going to university or college and stuff. So imagine having to go back to writing from your own thinking or your own ideas. I think it will be much harder.
I think it's worse for the generation before me. As not after me, sorry,
you. I think it's going to be worse.
That goes again.
My little cousin's
it's gonna get
generation and
worse.
stuff, I think that's really difficult.
It's becoming harder and harder.
But
They don't even
their
know what
future's
DVD is.
difficult for them as well, right? Like they're being told what ideas are you going to contribute. Like somebody wrote a post and it was like reasonably good on LinkedIn. They go, with all due respect, why would I hire an intern now if I can't figure it out with AI that knows my workflows and is embedded with how I'm because you bank on humans is why you should take on an intern. But they're like, why would I bother? And so when people are feeling like that towards your job future, it's like that signals so poorly about your value to the marketplace.
But then don't it create more value in other areas and other employment areas like plumbing, electricians, the raw core skills?
Correct.
That
aren't ever going to be taken over by AI.
So then the value of
That's true.
the way we pay those people at skill, their money should technically increase.
Technically, yes.
Because it's still needed.
Well, if you had more of an active manual labour force in the world, like let's say they talk about AI creating a lot of abundance. Well, it'd be nice to have more sort of civic duty to be entrusted to clean up the environment around us, make things look more orderly, and like give that human capital to the service of our environments and the way we live.
I suppose we've got to then shape the mindsets of those individuals to not look at those jobs as lesser jobs, but now they're the most important jobs.
I never did that, by the way.
But you was a cleaner.
Yeah,
and you
correct.
enjoy cleaning, so
I wouldn't say enjoy.
What do you mean? That was your dream.
That was your dream.
Housewife.
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 That's just drunk on the
Housewife. You can have
sofa.
a housewife with a cleaner and a chef.
A housewife with a cleaner and a
That's like
chef.
an
That's
NBA
crazy.
housewife.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
different.
That
That's
is-
different.
That's
Gangster.
definitely a different conversation. Yeah.
You're just the wife at that point.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
you're pretending.
Well, a mansion wife. That's not a.
Yeah.
I'm gonna arrange the cleaner for us.
Yeah.
That's your role. That's mental. Mental.
Wouldn't be so bad.
But yeah, no, what would you do if the internet turned off?
I feel relieved. Like Ed, I wouldn't want to for that to happen.
For how long though? So remember, it's indefinite. It's not
That's
like
what I mean.
COVID.
I think there's a part of me that's slightly concerned about AI and how that's going to shape the world and how we're going to adapt. I mean, humans are prone to adapt to most things, but that is one thing that scares me, and that would probably just halt
What if?
that fear that I currently have at the moment.
But we've got, I think we've got about 20 to 30 years of working, like left, right? It goes back to Brendan's point. It's the younger generation more so that haven't even started, that have a full 50 years of work in front of them.
Which is scary because in schools they're still being taught traditionally.
It's crazy.
Yeah, correct,
In the
Absolutely
UK,
insane.
they're going to keep doing that for the next 30
This is the
years.
problem,
It
right?
is
So then
insane.
the world's going towards AI, and you're going to be making money through you either utilizing AI or, as you said, through tradesmanship, like trade skills,
Crafts, yeah.
crafts.
Mm.
But
And
you're still
labour.
being taught to be a banker.
Yeah.
Or whatever it may be.
So we're going to have a generation, 10 years in, that are unskilled and
You're gonna have this limbo
It's
where
madness.
you're gonna have people that obviously I've grown up learning traditionally, and then but I'm adapting with it now because I'm in the workforce and I have to adapt. The same as all of us to learn AI. Kids don't have that mindset because they don't need to make money yet, so they're just going through school. They're going through the system. I'm talking about on a general basis.
yeah, of course.
Going through the system, and they are being taught extra things like more programming. I see like kids doing more.
But even that,
computer
right?
program-
Like they're saying that the level of programming of some of the AI models that have just come out,
It's just
like
it's
Claude
pointless.
4.
Yes,
they're
so
like,
sophisticated.
this is a
Even
decent software engine.
Canva's come out with code,
Yeah.
like AI code. So you're there like, so that's now going to be
I mean,
obsolete.
One could
Soon it's going to be
argue
obsolete.
that computer programming never should have been. Well, it needed to be at the transistor level and wrapped around in computer language, right? And obviously for the layman, it's pretty complicated. So actually, the idea that it gets to human level conversation, you can go build this, and it goes, okay, that can be interpreted by the machine and democratically available to all of us in plain language rather than some abstract
Code,
language.
yeah.
It's probably a really good thing because it means everybody can turn their creative ideas into like a spark of inspiration or some kind of agency. But you're right, like the education system is like I think they'll feel really cheated. Even to
Of
their own
course.
parents, they'll go to our parents, what were you thinking?
Why have I
Where
learned
was the
this?
foresight?
I mean, listen, we feel cheated going to school in
Yeah.
the UK now, so
It's true. Even,
But
you know,
who's responsible for that? Is that a central planning and government thing? Is that a parental thing? Is that a societal thing?
Well,
Should the digital innovators go back to the kids and go, let us mentor you? You need more mentorship from people doing this.
Correct.
So,
I think so.
as I said, it's a mix of all of the above that what you said, right? Is the government, because obviously they're not willing to change, or not right now anyway, to
Well,
change the education system.
But remember who's at the government? It's mostly people of older generation than us, right?
Correct. So
Completely unprepared to prepare those that are coming after us, which is concerning.
agreed. And then
But
obviously,
then I think you've also got to look at the job as a whole of, you're talking about you're talking about a number of people all over the country with different backgrounds, different skill levels, different mindsets. You kind of got to find a general rule in the middle. And normally the general rule is teach the basics, maths, English, science, because that's humanity. You're going to need that wherever you go. And then everything else is just more hands up, and you learn that later on.
There are schools at the moment that, private schools or that actually prepare your children to what they want to do. So
Yeah.
you can go to a scientific school,
Yeah.
or you can go to a school of just arts from
Arts,
an
yeah.
age of about 7,
but
8.
then there's
the
the question of, do you
parents-
know what you want to do at 7, 8?
Absolutely not.
Whatever I wanted to be a lawyer like you.
So then
And then I found out how to do English, and I was like, my English is awful.
But then
Can't do it.
But then that's my point. Like we looked at the government being an issue, but they've got to find some common ground to children who potentially will change their opinions later on. Now, if they went into school saying, right, we're going to manufacture AI and make you all AI, and then you're like, well, I don't want to do AI. I just want to be a footballer.
Well, you can have the mirror of self-reflection, right? I think what's interesting is let's say AI encompasses all available human context or whatever, and it can understand conversations and benchmark where you are at. And there could be a friendly terminal for a kid to interface with and chat their creative stories, and kind of goes, oh, Brendan's an interesting kid. He tends to think like very laterally. There's a bit of a footprint of this kind of signature of individual. He's very high on creative, original story making or whatever. And then it can start to work with that child to like emphasize it. Don't make them get rid of the bad.
Yeah, but now we're removing social interaction from that process, and that's also dangerous.
Well, exactly, because you're absolutely right, and I think you mentioned before, like who gives you inspiration, and like maybe it's a teacher that just made you think against the odds you should do something that made no sense.
Because you're creating a bigger problem later on down the line with a lack of social interaction, a lack of light. So then the health problems on that are also going to be very massive, and we don't know what those problems are yet. Like the amount of ADHD and anxiety that is diagnosed today, if you go back 20 years ago, it weren't that high. Now, why is that the case?
But I suppose we're perhaps more aware of it as well.
I was about to say that, is it lack of awareness back then?
Back then, people used to be...
And people were just ADHD, just didn't know it.
Correct.
No, potentially.
Yeah,
but then if they didn't,
or just with disruptive kids,
were they that challenged? See, that once you label something, you also put somebody in a box, which then creates a challenge.
You're talking about like you're essentially enabling.
Potentially. I don't know.
Potentially.
But like I tend to think like everybody has like a ticker speed, right? Like you can see a kid, and I think once it gets blocked or inhibited, as you say, they sort of act out with like delinquent behavior or something, and essentially that's maybe their brain is saying, I need to be used more, and now I'm becoming like a troublesome teenager. And it's like, how do we connect? Because that's what I think society needs to really address these technologies, is how do you take the people that are falling out of society and scoop them back in and make them really
utilize
gel?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even that one with the children growing up, as a black child, I'd grow up, go to school, and then the white English teachers will then be like, you're disruptive.
Yeah,
but what they're failing to understand is what I've gone through in the morning with my parents. Like, I've been told to do this, that, the other, got beat before I've gone to school, I've cried, and then I'm in school and then I've got to show face.
Yeah, crazy.
So you don't know what my problems are at home.
It's true, because of lack of understanding.
Right.
And yet they shouldn't project your problems onto you either. They need to just understand, because they could go, oh, well, because we have this gap in our awareness, we're going to project that you have problems at home onto you. And you're like, well, that's not going to be true of everyone. But when it is evident and it's problematic, it's like, it needs
to be addressed. And it's those lack of, it's just a skill, I suppose. And it's not their fault either. It's just a lack of skills, right? And a lack of awareness in other people, culturally, what other people are going through culturally.
But do you think that's changing now as we get more and more culturally diverse and
better?
Yeah,
but it's still very slow, which goes back to what we were saying about government level. What are they doing? But then, like Anna said, if you look at the bench, it's middle class England that are over 60 making the rules for what's going on in the.
But exactly that's what's so crazy to me is like there's like a dovetail shift in terms of obviously AI literacy, and the amount of productivity is like exponentially growing here, and then you've got people in power who've not grown up with that, in their 50s, 60s maybe, dictating what the next few, and we don't have a lot of time. We don't have like 10, 15 years worth of time to be like, we're still figuring it out.
Because everything's moving too fast.
Everything's moving too fast.
Then what about the parents though? When do the parents take responsibility for knowing and ignoring?
Well, I've had this conversation, right, and it's hard to break the inertia, even with my own partner, saying, I just think the education system's not fit for purpose. And it doesn't mean I want to be like one of those crazy people who takes their kid out of school. All the socialization of school and the memories are brilliant. But if I'm expecting my kid to come out of school with an amazing plan to address this issue, that's like a 0 in the 1-0 bets of being successful to me.
It's the fear, isn't it?
It's quite difficult though, because obviously parents also are not in the know at this age group, right? In terms of,
that's correct.
My parents wouldn't have known anything about AI, nor can they teach me anything about AI now.
But now you're a big
I'm obviously
man.
in a different. I'm in a different age group. But then what I'm saying is, there's that transition period which you're speaking about, where there's going to be a generation that doesn't really know enough about it to then be able to teach their children about, like, people of your age group, right?
Thanks.
That's all right. No, but seriously, like, you guys are an exception.
Wait, we're not the same age group as him, please.
Look, there's a category of a form somewhere that puts Michael and
You guys.
Anna and I in the same
Black is
bucket.
this? Well,
I know what you're a millennial.
Right, so
Gen Z.
as I said, you guys are on a different cusp of knowledge where you guys do know and are keeping up, but majority of people won't. Even my age people don't. Yeah. Right. So how can then you rely on parenting to then teach a child?
But that's also ignorance, and that's my point, isn't it? Because we're all exposed to it. You can read about it, and then you could be like, "Yeah, I don't really care," or you're very fearful of it, so you just go the other way, right? Yeah. It's one or the other.
The poopy philosophy is mad to me,
but it's happening, whether you like it or not, right?
Yeah. I think that even though we know this, are we going to really stop our kids from going to school?
I will just work around the sides to get them to
upskill
them, 100%.
But that's and it's the social aspect for me. Like socially, the memories, you can't buy that.
No.
That level of just being a child instead of creating a functional robot for society is two different things.
It's true.
We can create functional robots all we want, which is ultimately what they're going to be, and they'll be the best at their job. But you're going to look at this individual, which is your individual that you've created.
No character.
But then it's got no character. Sad because I feel like most work environments nowadays, like to do the transaction or get the outcome, you have to do the dance. It's like, oh, you're going to sell somebody something. Do you really believe in what you're selling them? Maybe, yes, kind of. And then you like do the jig. And if you don't do the jig well enough, they kind of go, oh, we're not sure we're going to buy this off you. And it's like, it just feels like what the game was to dating is basically what we do in business on a daily basis of like, do the dance, put the mask on, serve the outcome. And it can feel pretty hollow. So I fear for my kid ending up in the workforce in some capacity anyway. Obviously they have to, but it's just, I see these people kind of with the most conviction doing their job. And I'm like, I don't know if you really believe this. You've just got very good at being a robot.
So if you think the workforce is going towards like robots rather than human interaction, what do you think the role of leadership can do in terms of how can leaders change that within the workforce and foster that?
You know what? That's a good podcast right there. We should get into that.